Today is the 19th of September 2020. Is Ipoh Garden. Going to do a test run of the clamp for the camera and see how well it performs. It's a Saturday and it's 6:47 p.m. Currently heading west. As indicated by the sunset. I think I prefer my video to be a bit lower. Okay, should be low enough or not. This is Hockley Park. Heading towards Ipoh Garden South. This camera connector to the camera holder that has a 1/4" screw, has a bit of spring in it, so that it does not vibrate with the bicycle. The previous one, the old one which is next to it, that has its plastic being broken up, vibrates with the bicycle and has no spring recoil. Here's some chicken rice. It's full house. So since it has a spring recoil, the damage from the vibration might not be as terrible. There's this braid star, it seems to be closed already in Ipoh Garden South. There's a new like 2XM styling castle next to it that I've never seen before. So this braid star used to be like quite somewhat popular maybe. And at the back there's that Chinese restaurant, new one, called dim sum something something. Last time this bread style is like very, what you call it, very exclusive because it's got like a alarm system, or it's locked quite quite strangely. It's not so open, it's more like a security in it. Oh, this 2XM styling castle is looking like quite a posh place to cut your hair. And this is Buxton Ria. I see the interior has been changed. This is Antonia. It's called Finally Cup now. Can I show you? Finally Cup. Now this, oh shit, I should not have moved the camera. Now I have to recalibrate maybe. Square concept. Oh, there's a new building here called Dr. Elaine Beverly. It used to be, I think, a pub. Now it's not a pub anymore. Now there's a easy access ramp. Of course, at the back there's more buildings and it's a lane. So this Finally Cup, which has a bulk green color, used to be Anthony bookstore maybe 40 years plus or 30 years ago. So this is Buxton Ria. You see the interior, it looks a bit nicer looking. Before the COVID pandemic, there's supposed to be like we're going to turn this into a college. It was empty. It was supposed to be turned into a college. Maybe it still is going to be turned into a college. There was a London style or British style telephone booth there, turned into a, what you call it, looks like a prize vending machine. Yeah, it's a vending machine for cuddly stuff. I can move the camera quite nicely, 360, I mean left and right, up and down, quite easily. So I don't think I need to like bring out my camcorder. I mean take the camcorder out, because the screwing the camcorder into the receptacle or the clamp is quite cumbersome, because you have to move the camera around and around 360 degrees just to tighten it up. So I guess I'm going to like do all of my things like so. Just easily move it up and down, up and down. It's quite convenient. Hopefully you enjoy the tour of Eagle Garden South so far, and more places to come, hopefully. Let's go on. Today I found some time to actually go around. Oh, this is a pet store. There is some kind of like, it's pink in color, Pretty Pets is called, but it's now filled with graffiti, which is a shame. Of course pink is a bit dull, but it's better than all this stupid looking uncreative graffiti. This is Ipoh, MZA, whatever. Maybe it's not open, so people can come and just graffiti it. Or I think it's closed for sale, it seems like. Supposed to be like 2 shop lots, but one of them has the for sale sign. This place is where I fix my bike, Sang Motor Sale, fix my motorcycle. I had to fix the mirror. In front there is Pantai Hospital. I smell sewage, and there are hills there. East, I'm facing east now. Those hills are where Sunway is. Now it's about 3 minutes to 7 p.m, so I have 30 minutes of sunlight left. Just trying to get used to the camcorder on the bicycle. Camcorder is not nice on the motorcycle. Sucks balls actually. Okay, try to go to Canning Garden. Texas chicken, blinded by the sun. Nice posh car. Looks darn expensive. So I'm suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. Actually, I don't have much time left, and today is a warm day. Normally I prefer to ride my bicycle when it's cooler. Today is a very clear sky and warm too, so I'm going to make sure this 30 minutes is nice. I was planning to go to somewhere around Tambun area and race course posh area, but I don't have time for that. It'll take more than 1 hour. I'm settling for a shorter time, shorter visit. Texas chicken here. So I want to go there. gosh, it takes so long. I just want to cross the road, man. This is one of the routes where my bus used to take. There's a girl here who was very pretty, I think, called Michelle. I think she was living here. This brick blackish grayish house, I think so. I'm not sure, I can't remember which house it was that this beautiful creature called Michelle lived. She normally like tied her hair in ponytail style, and she had a very long hair, very long ponytail, very beautiful. So I'm suffering from PTSD because yesterday there was a Kancil, I think. A Kancil is a very light car that was overturned right in front of my house. Overturned. I was like lying on my bed. It was about 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Oh, nice house on the left. Oh my God. So it's about 3 p.m. and I was lying on my bed. Where am I? Lying on my bed, and suddenly I heard the crunchy sound. Oh, this is for sale, this house. Very old style house. So I heard a crunchy sound, like when you crush a can, only twice the length, twice the duration. Like so. Nice houses here. So suddenly I thought, oh my God, it must be a car accident, because near my house is a T. It's not a T junction. It's an intersection. The lines on the floor is non-existent. Like on this road, it's non-existent at all. So one the cars that are supposed to like stop and look left and look right do not do that, and therefore the intersection is prone to accidents, car accidents, because of the carelessness of drivers who are not privy to the stop, privy to them having to stop, because the lines on the floor is non-existent. It's very faded, very faded. But there's a stop sign, but people don't actually look at stop signs. They do concentrate on the floor more than the stop sign. So careless people, one auntie who was driving a Proton Wager, the newer Proton Wager, did not stop and just went straight. She needed to stop actually to look left and look right. So the car, the Kancil, a small light car, slammed into the front of the proton water, the auntie's proton water, and I think it skidded on the floor and overturned, thus producing a very crunchy can crunching sound. And there's a house here which is abandoned with overgrown weeds. And there's a nice tarpaulin house here. Houses here are very old. And I'm heading towards Jalan Edward Moraira. Jalan Edward Moraira. So I'm on Jalan Kuching. There's a lot of crunchiness here because this tree above that produces some kind of seed which is hard, and it's a dead end here. And it's a dead end because there's a monsoon drain in front, and they did not take the effort to actually build a bridge over this. Oh, this monsoon drain is like very new. It's got, yeah, they newly patched up the monsoon drain, excavated the road some more, and destroyed the weeds and whatnot. Very cool. And there's a Gurdwara here, a house of a Sikh or a Punjabi family, Northern Indian family, which I saw a lot. Never knew there were so many of them in Ipoh. Only knew that when I went to have dinner in Taj Mahal at night on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm not sure. There were tons of them. Cool. I love Northern Indian girls. They are very pretty and very fair for an Indian. So when I came out of the house or of the door, I was very shocked to see an overturned car, a Kancil. Of course, a Kancil is very light, so I'm not surprised that it overturned when it was when it smashed straight on to a heavier car, which is the Proton Waja. Was it Proton? I'm not sure what Proton it was. Proton Saga, the newer Proton Saga version of the Anti. So it was overturned and the windshield was broken off. It was cracked and broken off. So the occupants of this Kancil came out through the windshield, the front windshield. It was a youngster, about maybe 20 or below years old, quite a young chap who was quite tall, Chinese fellow of course, and a girl, a very pretty girl, wearing baggy white shirt and bright blue skirt. Very fair girl. So if this girl wasn't there, I wouldn't be so shocked or having PTSD or feeling very sad or depressed, because I was like putting myself in her shoes and wanting to put my dick in her actually, but never mind. So this is Ho Sing On School at the back of it. Seldom do I come to the back of anything, especially girls, backside of anything. So quite a pretty girl, very fair. Thank God there was no serious injuries, no injuries whatsoever. Maybe a bit of dizziness from being overturned in a Kancil. So she was put on the pavement. She set her ass on the pavement, and I noticed that squatting down on a pavement, and she was wearing black short pants underneath that blue skirt, so quite indecently sitting there. This is Lengkok Tasik. So I went back into the house and brought out a chair for her to sit put the chair underneath the plants so as to avoid the sun. The sun was quite strong at 3 p.m. So she sat down and went back in and took about 3 cans of 100 plus, which I think 100 plus tastes like Pocari Sweat from Japan. It's like isotonic drinks, sweet, salty, and watery, with a bit of H2O in it, I presume. Nice house here. So I'm feeling a bit like sad, you know, something that's scary happening in front of my house. A car overturned, and I was there just a few. I was there, but I did not see it. I was very near, in the proximity of such a tragedy. It's not a tragedy. It's more like a tragedy for the car that was overturned, and maybe PTSD suffered by the young chap and the uniformed girl. I did not film the incident. I should have filmed it, but I feel like a perv if I were to bring my camera out. I prefer to go out and help out by giving the girl a can of drink, because I was scared that she was in shock. She seems to be in shock. The driver, I think, of the Kancil, the boy, must be her boyfriend, was like talking and tried to calm down the auntie. The auntie was like in hysteria. She was crying and she was shocked, and she was like begging for forgiveness and sorry and whatnot, hugging the girl who was kind of like in shock. Who knows? So the moral of the story is, there is no moral of the story. If an accident happens near you and there's a pretty girl which you might fall in love with these days, and you are seeing her and she's like shocked and having what I call a shocking event happening to her right in front of your eyes, you feel a soul connection between you and her. That's why it makes me feel a bit sad. Of course, no loss of lives no loss of lives occurred, but it's like a strange event. When you drive around, you see accident, you pass by accident, you're curious of what happened and what not. It's quite different when you are just there when it happened. It's quite eye-opening, scary. That incident could have been worse. But never mind. That's all I wanted to say. There's a house here which is kind of in disrepair without the roof. Very cool. Next to Ho Sing On School. Really? Just next to Ho Sing On School. Oh my god. Now is what time? 7:16 p.m. It's time to go back home. It's getting dark now. There are no more stories to tell. Not sure whether the camcorder is picking this up or not, because I'm speaking quite loudly. The wind might be obscuring the speakers or the microphone. This is a roundabout of Canning Garden. I don't know who designed this clamp for camera, but the fellow is quite smart to put a recoil or a spring in the swivel area. The swivels left and right, left to right, or round and round, thus protecting your camera from the vibrations of the bicycle or the motorcycle. Of course, the footage will be more jumpy than usual, but it protects the camera, makes the camera less it vibrates the camera less. Normally I have no time to cycle and shoot, but this afternoon I made pizza. With pineapple. Of course it's a sin, but pineapple and pizza goes together well. So made pizza with chicken, tomato sauce that's cooked with Italian herbs, onions and garlic. That's the sauce. The add-ons will be 3 slices of cheese that comes with the plastic, you know. Chicken floss, 3 sausages, I think ayam mas sausages, pineapples, some skyward chilies to spice it up, and of course the dough that was left over from yesterday night. Yesterday I cooked congee or rice porridge for lunch and dinner. So dinner time I wanted to make yao jiao gai or Chinese breadsticks, but the Chinese breadsticks came out pretty bad. It did not expand, did not form big huge air pockets when I fry the dough. So there was leftover dough which I transformed into pizza bread by adding yeast, sugar, butter into the dough. The road that I am on is called Jalan Tambun. Let me show you my normal bicycle routes through Tambun area. I think I'll show you another day of my bicycle routes. It's getting a bit dark now. So I'm going back to Ipoh Garden South. Tambun is straight ahead, Tambun town. The IRS or Hasil is on the left. Ipoh Garden South is straight ahead. You always see Ipoh Garden South, so I'm gonna go on a different route through the neighborhood, hopefully. And this house is for sale. Ipoh Garden South is on the left, the commercial area that is. The computer games that I play often is Company of Heroes 2, multiplayer, 1 versus 1. I play one game a night. Then in the morning or afternoon I was playing Darkest Dungeons. That was until I lost some enthusiasm. I mean, I got 3 more bosses to go to end the game. Darkest Dungeon 2 and Darkest Dungeon 3, that's all the bosses that's left to conquer. So I lost a bit of steam playing it. And now I'm obsessed with playing faster than light. I conquered 1 starship. Now I want to conquer the other starships. That means to win the levels using different starships. So that's the game that I'm playing right now. Oh, it's been 40 minutes already, holy shit. 40 minutes means 40 gigabytes. After processing the file into one file, I think it's 2 files now, currently, being processed into the SD card, because one file can only house about 23 minutes worth of footage at 1080p. That produces roughly 4 gigs 4 gigabytes is the maximum size for a file. So 23 minutes each file, and I had to process the video into one file. So now I see it's like 41 minutes. That means it's 41 gigs worth of information that needs to be processed into one file. The maximum file that you can upload into YouTube is 125 gigabytes. That's 125 minutes worth of footage. For me, that is my 1080p camera video. If it's 4K, then it's a different minutes. See, the car just passed by from left to right. It's supposed to stop, but it did not stop. You see the floor is still wet. I'm not sure from oil. The engine was quite busted for the Proton Vera auntie's car. Very busted. So I think it leaked oil. I'm not talking about petrol. Petrol evaporates. I'm talking about oil that does not evaporate. That's why there was still a puddle of something that was from yesterday. I hate crossing here while turning right. Sucks balls. Yep, my turn. Nice house, a new house that's lighted up. I took a couple of bricks from the skip here when it was renovating. Now it's completely dark. 7:32 p.m. I'm glad to say that I'm not waking up at 5 a.m. anymore. There's a skip here, no bricks. So normally I wake up at 5 p.m. 5 a.m. in the morning, and now I'm waking up at 7 a.m. It's quite unusual to wake up so early at 5 a.m. It's quite nice actually, but the TV that I'm watching now is Lovecraft Stories, I think it's called, with the black people, Lovecraft something. And Love Raised by Wolves. And watching Boys Season 2. And watching Farscape so far, Season 2. Then Space Beyond Time, or Space Beyond something. No idea what it's called. That's it.